Okay folks, Cravens house on Lookout Mountain during a government shutdown. Of course it's Sunday, Cravens house isn't open that much anyway. But I want you to crawl up here the back way since the parking lot's closed. Take advantage of the nice view today after the storms rolled through yesterday and blew everything out of here. This is named after Robert Craven. He owned the smelting place there in Chattanooga back during the Civil War. In fact, the Union Army took this place, took over and burned it. And it was rebuilt. It's looking out over Chattanooga, downtown. Now this place was rebuilt after the war. And it was restored, I think, the last time fully back in the 1950s. But it's been closed. It used to be open all the time, but it's always closed now due to budget cuts, I guess, in the Park Service. Right next door to it is the New York Monument. It's pretty windy today, and the high is only supposed to be 35 at about 3 o'clock this afternoon, which is about what time it is now, I guess, maybe 2. There's a real picture of Robert Cravens after he returned after the war. You can see his house burnt in the background. It's when the Union infantry captured it in December 1863, painting. Okay, here's, I know I have a shadow, but pause it if you want to slow it down to read it. Now there's trails all over this mountain, all kind of Civil War battle sites and monuments. But you can hike this to Sunset Rock, this trail, or Point Park, or the rifle pits, which I've done all of. It's just too cold. I already did a hike a little while ago. There's another monument. And then this is a house that's been here since I think the 30s or 40s. That's the carriage house, and then there's the, I'll show you that. They're going to tear this thing down. I forget what this house is known as, but there's been efforts to try to save it, but the Park Service doesn't want to hear any part of it. This particular monument's the Ohio Monument. Craven's house. Now back to this abandoned house again. Isn't this a shame? Tear something like that down. I've seen multiple videos on this. Andy's Journeys, he's local. He does a lot of videos on things on the mountain. He's been inside this and everything. It's pretty cool. Look at that slate roof. These are some old windows. Yeah, they've got it boarded up. It's a wonder people haven't smashed out all the windows yet. This is a cute little screen porch area. I would say it does have some issues. Termite much. There's a kitchen back in there. I would say that was a caretaker's apartment in a carriage house, or not sure how old. I can't remember how old this is, but it was post-Civil War anyhow. Looks like I forget what they do with that pit area in there. Bird bath is still here. Imagine that. This is the back. Alright, moving on. Well, actually, I just saw this. Check this out. A dungeon. Oh, that's wet. Not sure what they did with that. I'm sure everybody that sees this knows what this was for. Alright, it's starting to come back to me now, my memory, if it serves me correct. I believe the story was the family that lived here for a long time moved out around 2001 or something finally, or the last descendant died, and they donated it to the Park Service instead of selling it or have the estate sell it, and they could have brought some good money up here on Lookout Mountain. So they donated it, and the Park Service did nothing with it except let it get run down, and now they're planning on tearing it down. So that's what's kind of a shame about the whole deal. I believe that's the story. Back here at Cravens' house now on the back porch. I did read where the Park Service is going to try to do some more work to this and get rid of all these power lines, because they want it to look like it did back during the Civil War. This house was built, the original house was built in 1853, I believe. There's the Tennessee River in downtown Chattanooga, and you get some great visibility today. No haze or anything. Now the house itself is not open very often anymore, but it is from time to time. They have special occasions, special holidays and whatnot. I think they had it open around Christmas time at night. You could go in and see what it was like. They had it all set up, and as it was back during the Civil War, or in that time period. And they have ranger talks and so forth, park ranger talks here occasionally. I don't think I've ever been inside it. I don't believe I have. But alrighty then, Cravens' house on Lookout Mountain on a very cold January day. Thank you. Well, not quite yet. Oh, by the way, over here's the ranger residence, which I don't think that's being used anymore. And I remember from a video that Andy from Andy's Journeys, he's done a couple videos. This is the old spring house through these woods. Where I guess the Cravens' house to get their water. The water supply. See if I can crawl over here without busting my ass. Bear with me. Yep. The pipe with the water would come out of that pipe, and they just fill their water. That was a water supply. Natural spring, I guess, it's in there somewhere. Cravens' house got its water. Alrighty then.